I'm JQ.
I'm TQ.
We are the Q Brothers. Andalusia. So we once talked about, I think it was with Ig, we talked about what are the greatest opening tracks on any album ever. And we had a bunch of great ones came up.
But Ig's favorite, he said, and this is Johnny Iguana, famous musician.
From the Claudettes. Go check
currently
him out.
of the Claudettes, one of our favorite bands. He said that he thinks the opening of Pixies' Doolittle, which is Debaser, is the name of the song, and there's a tie-in here to what we're going to talk about. Just that is perhaps one of the best beginnings of an album of all time. And I would argue that is one of the best albums of all time.
And we saw them
also
last year, and they have not skipped a beat. That band is still just ripping it.
Yeah. I mean,
they did
not it doesn't have Kim Deal anymore, but still, it's the band is hot, and Black Francis sounded great. Frank Black Francis.
He sounded so good.
Yeah.
And the band
and if you guys
say a word between songs, which I love.
It was spare. It was
just like rip your songs. And I remember going, I wish they did the Wave of Mutilation remix from the Pump Up the Volume soundtrack, and they came out for their encore and did it.
I know.
Like, yes.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Pixies, then what have you been doing with all of your life? I don't know. Really, Pixies are the best. And so the tie-in to today is the fact that ds&durga is a brand that we love. We have been carrying them for a number of years. For us, I discovered them out at a show in New York and immediately knew that was a brand that I wanted to carry, and I really like it. It was a great decision. We sell them very well, and I was just delighted to see when they came out with their new fragrance, Debaser, which is sort of takes inspiration and
it's from the wild trill of Black Francis coming through the radio in the August heat.
Yep.
Awesome.
Should we say some of the notes, or you want to just go with it?
Sure.
Ripe fig, Irish,
tonka,
coconut milk, tonka, and dry blonde woods. Excuse me. So let's spray some of this stuff. I was talking about this earlier.
We can just talk about what that means. No, what that means. Black Francis, Frank Black, has one of the best screams in the history of rock and roll, and also one of the best, most soothing baritone voices ever. And the juxtaposition during his songs is what makes it awesome. So I'm looking for some awesome juxtaposition here, is what I'm trying to say.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah. I think one of the things about ds&durga fragrances are they write these little situations, stories, and they, in the past some of them are longer or whatever, but they're really good at capturing like a moment in time or an imagined moment in history.
Yeah.
And in this case, I don't think it's a historical thing as much as, for us it's historical because I spent many Augusts of my life listening to Pixies and kind of in the August heat. But I feel like even if I hadn't, the first thing you do when you smell this is like there's a summer day, you're wearing loose, light clothing because you just
coconut milk is
I
great.
know.
It really rounds out the thing and doesn't like.
This is a fig that is not overly fig,
sweet figgy.
Yeah.
It's
or sort of like
pudding.
or like overdone fig where it's like everyone has a fig, and sometimes I just feel like, all right, it's like a toss-up, like juggle them, throw them up in the air and see which one hits, because there's a bunch of really good figs out there, but they're not all of them are always doing something new.
Well, and that's what I thought was interesting about Jovois' fig that we just did, and this one is also pretty unique.
I have an allergy, so my smell is not as good as it normally is, but
I mean, a lot of,
But that coconut milk, I keep coming back to that.
I mean, there's a ton of wood in this.
Yeah, well that's what makes it so nice, is that the coconut milk adds in a tropical feeling without being overly tropical, because you've got, like, there's floral and then there's this woodiness, which is not, you don't associate with tropical things, but there's this underlying, like, summery feeling to it that is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Who would you wear this?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, so,
I don't think this is a feminine or masculine scent. I would consider
I
this
don't,
unisex.
I don't think so either. It's just funny because I was, after softball last night, I wore it last night, and people were debating whether it is.
Debasing.
They were debasing. Someone tried to debase it, but I wasn't having it.
That coconut milk is awesome.
Yeah.
That's an awesome way to round out and connect the wood to the fruit and floral.
I said, so what do you think of Debaser? Have you smelled it? And she goes, I bought it. I smelled it and was like, oh, this is my new fig. Yeah, it's just like, it's one of those things that if you're into fig, you should smell this. I'm not saying it will definitely be yours, but it certainly is one of my favorite ones I've ever smelled.
What was the voting on last night? Like, how was it about 50-50 people?
There was only 2 people sitting there, but Kelly had said
it was feminine.
she thought she wouldn't want a guy to smell like that. It was too feminine. But I think that says more about her personal taste than it does.
And then the other person,
JP said
"You
smell really nice to me." He's like, you always. That's what he said. I mean,
in this story, you always.
He's like, you guys always smell good because you have something nice to wear. So.
The fig is nice because there's a little fig leaf too. It's not just the fruit. Sometimes that can get a little sweet, and
I don't think there's much leaf.
I get a little bit of that green.
I think of this as fruit. This is the smell when I'm doing like bacon wrapped fig.
I'm getting some
green. And
maybe the green is not from the fig.
Yeah,
there is some green. Like those woods are young woods. That's like that blonde wood. There's a little bit of greenness to them, slightly.
Perhaps, yeah. I don't know, but I don't get much fig leaf. I think ripe fig is the right description. This feels like summery fig that I just want to bite into, but without being overly. The other things are taming the sweetness, so it's not a sweet fragrance. Although it's on the sweeter side, wouldn't you say?
I don't know. It's very
green.
dry.
It's green.
It's dry and green.
Yeah, maybe that's true.
I'm also getting a little bit of like a little pepper now too, as it's kind of drying down.
Well, I think those are the woods and the tonka bean are giving a little spice.
You get like a little bit of that like black pepper fig kind of, when you're at a restaurant and they bring the figs out when they're in perfect season, they black pepper them up a little bit and grill them.
That's right.
I have a feeling that that Sydney's gonna freak out over this one, and they are huge Pixies fans, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and she already has currently a fig scent and would probably easily want something new.
Yeah.
Cool.
Check it out, Debaser, ds&durga.
Yeah, good job, ds&durga.
As usual. Nice work.